Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and here with another budget mid-range release from POCO. This is the POCO M4 that for the price should offer a really compelling option in the lower mid-range space. Let's have a look. So filming this the weekend before the launch of this POCO M4 5G, let's go through the full specs of this budget phone from POCO. Here we go. But first, have a look at what's inside the box. The standard POCO colors here, yellow, and you do get a case, SIM ejector tool, and this POCO M4 offers 18-watt fast charging. You do get a 22.5 charger in the box. Pretty standard unboxing for this phone. Design at 8.9 millimeters. 200 grams. This is a plastic built phone, but we do have that standard POCO look on the back. I would have loved to get a yellow review unit. Maybe one day POCO will listen to us and give us the yellow review units. The black is standard and it does look very nice, but this is definitely a budget offering, you can tell just from the build quality of this phone. And as you can see, the bezels are pretty large and you have a teardrop notch back to this phone. This definitely is a budget offering, as you can tell just from the design department. And talking about display, we have a 6.5-inch Full HD Plus dot drop display. This is an LCD panel, guys, but it is 90 Hz at the very least with a 240 Hz touch sampling rate. This is a pretty standard panel. Viewing angles are decent, but you're not going to get anything very special here except for the 90 Hz refresh rate, which will allow for a fairly comfortable scrolling experience, and I think is about the minimal display that you should expect for a phone in this price segment. And watching content on this POCO M4 5G should be pretty decent. It is LCD, so you will get that little bit of ghosting on the edges. And yes, the bottom bezel is pretty large, but for this price point, I don't think you should expect much more. A decent viewing experience on this phone. And in DRM info, we have L1 security level for wideband CDM, which means HD Netflix on board. That means it's an L1 party on Frankie Tech. Performance, and we're looking at the Dimensity 700. We've seen this before on older Xiaomi and Redmi devices. This is a 7nm process with a Mali G57 MC2, and we do have up to 6 GB of RAM, 128 gigs of storage on the high-end unit. And here you see the Antutu scores. Nothing too amazing here, but for lower mid-range or mid-range performance, this should do the job. And we do have MIUI 13 on board, but this is based on Android 12, just FYI for you guys. There you see I do have the higher end version with the 6 gigs of RAM and the extra 2 gigs of virtual RAM as well. And playing Genshin Impact, even at highest settings, 60 FPS, you're not going to get the best experience here on this Dimensity 700. But honestly guys, if you're doing light gaming, this chipset should still be able to handle it, just like you see it's handling Genshin Impact at the highest possible settings. I guess one of the perks of the 7nm process and the Mali G57 MC2, it will still offer a decent mid-range gaming experience. And talking about battery, we have a 5000 mAh capacity on this POCO M4 5G and 18-watt fast charging. I would have loved to see higher charging on this phone, but I guess you're at least going to have an all-day battery life and then some with this POCO M4 5G. And you'll have decent comms on this phone, including Bluetooth 5.1. You do get NFC and dual SIM 5G capability as well. And the fingerprint scanner, pretty standard here. Just clicks in on the side. What would you expect from a lower mid-range phone? And the vibration motor isn't anything special. Pretty standard for what you would expect for this price point. And the audio speaker test, single bottom firing speaker on this phone. Let's have a listen. Nothing great, but also nothing terrible here. A 7 out of 10 in terms of audio performance from this phone. And last but not least, talking about the cameras, we have a 13 megapixel f2.2 main camera sensor and a 2 megapixel f2.4 depth camera. Honestly, I would have loved to see an ultra wide here. I don't know why we're not getting at least an 8 megapixel ultra wide on this POCO M4 5G. And on the front, it's a 5 megapixel front camera. I gotta say it, I'm not really impressed with the camera specs of this device. I think POCO, you could have done a bit better here for the camera offering. But have a look at these samples and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? This is rear-facing video on the POCO M4 5G, shooting in 1080p 30. I guess that's what you expect for a budget phone. Beautiful day here in Hong Kong. Very hot though. Looks okay. I don't think there's any stabilization though. But listen to the mics here, how they sound, and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? And this is front-facing video on the POCO M4 5G, shooting in 1080p 30. And yes, that's the max front video resolution of the Xiaomi 12S Ultra. No words, guys. But listen to the mics here, how they sound, and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? So that's it for this video and my final verdict on the POCO M4 5G. I think the key thing to this device is that you are getting 5G and a pretty decent performance at this price point, but I gotta say it, this phone is a little bit lackluster. There's not really much to excite me here, so I really think it's gonna come down to the price. If they nail the price on this device, you may be getting a lot of phone for very little money, and this could really serve as a backup phone or a phone you would give to your kids to use. And if they need a 5G network, this could be the phone for you. A pretty underwhelming, but at least solid offering here, the M4 5G from POCO. But hit me up in the comments, what are your thoughts on this POCO M4 5G? And if the price is right, do you think this could be a solid budget offering for you to consider? Hit me up in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon for future updates. There's no denying, guys, you know which phone I'm super excited about, and that is the Xiaomi Mix Fold 2. I will be doing my best to get a review unit of this device for the channel. Can't wait. Stay tuned. So that's it, and this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one. A decent phone, guys. But honestly, POCO, it's time to start sending out the yellow review units. Oh yeah.